The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Chen stepped forward, dragging something heavy behind her. The delegates from 47 species watched with barely concealed amusement as she struggled with what appeared to be a primitive mechanical relic. "This," Chen announced, her voice echoing through the crystalline hall, "is a Mark IV tank from Earth's First World War." Laughter erupted immediately. The Zephyri representative's tentacles quivered with mirth. "Ambassador, we called this meeting to discuss humanity's application for military partnership, not to visit your species museum." Chen's expression remained unchanged. "I'm aware, Counselor Vexthor, but you asked why humanity deserves a seat at the table. This is my answer." More laughter. The Krultan War Master, whose species had conquered 17 star systems, leaned forward with his 6 eyes gleaming. "Human, our smallest scout ships possess plasma cannons that could vaporize your entire planet. Your primitive combustion weapons are quaint." "Quaint," Chen repeated, running her hand along the tank's rusted hull. "This machine was designed in 1916. It moved at 8 kilometers per hour. Its armor could be penetrated by armor-piercing rounds. It broke down constantly. The crew inside suffered from heat, toxic fumes, and deafening noise." She paused, "And yet humans climbed inside anyway." The council chamber quieted slightly. They climbed inside these metal coffins knowing they might cook alive if hit. Knowing the engine might fail in no man's land, leaving them stranded between artillery barrages. They did it anyway. Do you know why? Silence because someone had to. Chen continued. Because on the other side of that battlefield were their families, their homes, their future. So they climbed into these death traps and drove forward. Vexthor's amusement faded. "Ambassador, bravery is common in the galaxy. Every species fights for survival." "I'm not talking about survival," Chen interrupted. "I'm talking about what happens when humanity decides something must be done." She activated a holographic display. "This tank represents the beginning of a principle you need to understand. In 100 years we went from this," the Mark IV rotated slowly, "to this." The hologram shifted. A sleek spacecraft materialized, bristling with weapon systems unlike anything the Council had seen. "The UNSC Perseverance," Chen announced. "Nuclear plasma hybrid engines, quantum-locked armor, railgun systems that can punch through moon-sized asteroids, adaptive AI that learns enemy tactics in real time, and it's already obsolete." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. "Obsolete?" The Krultan War Master's voice carried a hint of uncertainty. "We built something better 3 months ago, and we'll build something better than that within the year." Chen's eyes swept across the assembled aliens. "You laugh at our tanks. You should. They're ancient, pathetic, completely inadequate for modern warfare." She smiled. "That's exactly what makes humanity dangerous." The hologram changed again, showing a timeline. Every species in this chamber reached spacefaring capability and then plateaued. The Zephyri have used essentially the same plasma technology for 12,000 years. The Krultan Warfleet operates on principles established 6,000 years ago. You found solutions that worked and you stopped. "We perfected our technology," Vexthor protested. "You stagnated," Chen corrected. "Humanity doesn't know how to stop. We can't. It's not in our nature. We climbed into primitive tanks knowing they were death traps, then spent the next century making them better. Then we made them obsolete and started over. Then we did it again, and again. And we will never ever stop." She gestured to the Mark IV. "You want to know what this tank represents? It represents humanity's greatest weapon, our absolute refusal to accept good enough. You've had stable technology for millennia. We've had 12 major revolutions in warfare in the last century alone. You fight with perfected weapons. We fight with prototypes knowing the next generation will be better." The War Master stood abruptly. "Are you threatening this council?" "No," Chen replied calmly. "I'm explaining why you need us. The Devourers are coming." The chamber exploded with noise. The Devourers, a machine intelligence that had consumed 3 civilizations in the Outer Rim, were the galaxy's nightmare. Their adaptive technology consumed and integrated every weapon used against them. "The Devourers will assimilate your plasma weapons," Chen continued over the din. "They'll adapt to your kinetic barriers. They'll learn your tactics, and then you'll lose because you'll have nothing new to throw at them." She paused. "But they won't ever understand humanity." "And why is that?" Vexthor asked quietly. "Because by the time they adapt to our weapons, we'll have already moved on to something new. They'll consume our technology and find it's already obsolete. We'll be 3 innovations ahead, fighting with weapons we invented last week. Chen's smile turned fierce. You want to defeat an enemy that adapts? Bring the species that never stops evolving. The chamber was silent now. That tank, Chen gestured to the Mark IV, killed thousands, terrified armies, changed warfare forever. And within 20 years, humans looked at it and said, we can do better. Then we did. We always do. We always will. The Krultan War Master studied her for a long moment, his 6 eyes unblinking. You're asking us to partner with a species that weaponizes dissatisfaction. I'm offering you a partnership with a species that sees every solution as temporary, Chen corrected. Every victory is incomplete. Every weapon is a prototype for something better. She looked at each council member in turn. The Devourers are coming with technology you can't match. But they'll never be able to match a species that's already planning to make today's impossible weapons obsolete tomorrow. After a long silence, Vex Thor's tentacles moved in a gesture of respect.
The council will deliberate.
But Ambassador Chen, perhaps we underestimated your tanks. Chen smiled as she prepared to leave, one hand resting on the ancient armor. Everyone does. Right up until they see what we built next. As the chamber doors closed behind her, the council began to understand what the rest of the galaxy would soon learn. Humanity's greatest strength wasn't their current technology. It was their absolute certainty that tomorrow's would be better. The Devourers were coming. But so was humanity's next innovation, and that made all the difference.